This improved second-generation version of Audi's devastatingly quick RS3 provides the entry point into the brand's formidable RS performance range and features the most powerful production 5-cylinder engine in Ingolstadt's history. Plus, there's more technology, less weight, smarter looks, and a more sophisticated interior. The result is a compact performance car that once again claims class-leading status and aims once more to rewrite the shopping rocket rulebook. Four-wheel drive compact performance models that sit in this high-powered segment are primarily all about the clever ways they can transmit torque to the tarmac. Rivals to this Audi come up with all kinds of sophisticated solutions here that the engineers behind this improved RS3 have chosen not to emulate. So, as before, you get the brand's familiar Haldex clutch Quattro four-wheel drive system with its conventional open differential. Where the spec of this car does stand out, though, is when it comes to the engine beating beneath the bonnet. Most rivals use rather uncharismatic four-cylinder power plants, but with this RS model, Audi Sport gives you a gloriously emotive 2.5-litre 5-cylinder unit that now has a lightweight all-aluminium block and an unrivaled amount of grunt thanks to 400 PS and 480 Newton-meters of torque. That's enough to fire you from rest to 62 miles an hour in just 4.1 seconds to the accompaniment of a glorious metallic howl on the way to a maximum that would see you hitting 174 miles an hour if the speed restrictor were removed. So it's fast, but is it also agile and involving? The original first-generation version of this car never was, but Audi Sport put in a lot of work to the original version of this Mark II model to try and change things, adding a stiffer chassis, torque vectoring for extra cornering traction, a faster shifting S-tronic auto gearbox, more direct progressive steering, and a redeveloped Quattro system capable of transferring up to 100% of torque from front to back. It all made a big difference to that 2015 era model and still helps considerably here. At the wheel of this machine, you're suddenly transported into a world where you complete a twisting section of your favourite country road and wonder whether an Alonso, a Hamilton or a Vettel could really have driven it much quicker. It's a route that you might perhaps have covered a tenth or two quicker in, say, a BMW M3 or indeed any supercar. But at the end of it, your palms and forehead would likely be sweaty, your heart pumping furiously. Instead of which, your mind is still, Mozart's on the stereo, and you're free to return to rumination on the kind of day whose toil has doubtless made possible the purchase of a £45,000 hot hatch in the first place. As for efficiency, well, if you're interested, the combined cycle fuel figure is 38.0 miles to the gallon, and the CO2 return is rated at 189 grams per kilometre. If you've got it, you shouldn't need to shout about it, or so Audi believes. Hence the subtlety of the changes made to sportback and saloon versions of this RS3 to differentiate them from their equally low-key S3 stablemates. Now, the major points of differentiation lie at the front, where the three-dimensional black honeycomb grille here lacks the bright aluminium crossbars that feature on other A3 variants and gets Quattro lettering along its lower edge. Underneath, this blade flows just above the lower splitter, right into these more purposeful-looking lower corner air intakes. Now, let's get behind the wheel and let Audi weave the little spell it likes to lay on you before you've even turned the key of this RS3, or in this case, push the starter button. Now, it's all in the details. The flat-bottomed leather and Alcantara-trimmed RS Sport steering wheel with its contrast stitching is, of course, bespoke. So are the stainless steel pedals, the RS gear lever, and the illuminated RS door sill trims. We really like the seats. They come in Napa leather-trimmed Sportsformer standard, but we'd want to find the extra for these brilliant winged, diamond-quilted Super Sports chairs. Now, they're anatomically shaped and perfectly position you to view another standard cockpit highlight, the all-digital Audi Virtual Cockpit. Let's take a seat in the back. A 6-footer can sit behind an equally lanky driver, but it's a fairly snug fit. And as you'd expect from this class of car, 3 across the back here only really works if the people concerned are of school-going age. Finally, let's take a look at the boot, which is 335 litres in size if you go for this Sportback variant. And in summary, well, certainly there are other compact high-performance models in this segment that might make your heart beat a little faster. The RS3 still trades the last couple of percentage points of focus for genuine everyday utility. But it's also true that while that might make it a couple of seconds slower around the Nürburgring, it also makes it a better car for the vast majority of customers. People who live in the real world. A very fast world indeed.